What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley, and welcome back to another episode in this podcast series where we are interviewing successful day traders and investors to try and learn as much as possible. Now, today, I am very excited to announce that we are going to be joined by Shay from the Humble Trader YouTube channel, and Shay personally runs one of the largest YouTube channels on the entire platform when it comes to day trading. She also does extremely well for herself, and she helps new traders to get started, so I am very excited to speak with her. And the topics that we are going to cover today include her background and what she recommends for people that want to start day trading. What are some realistic targets to set? What is the best advice she has ever received? What is Shay's personal trading style? And what does she believe are the best setups? So if you get any value out of this podcast, remember to share it with your friends, and let's jump right in. All right, Shay, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I sincerely appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Zach.
Awesome.
And as we speak, the market's like selling off. So I'm doing okay.
I know it's been it's been a choppy week for sure. It's definitely not a great way to end the week for anybody. So I want to dive into that. We'll talk about that in this conversation. But for any new listeners or somebody that doesn't know you, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and how trading is going for you these days? I know you just launched a course, so I want to talk about that later as well. But can you give us your background and your story first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Shay. People know me on YouTube as Humble Trader. I've been day trading for more than 7 years now. So I also started out just working my 9 to 5, 9 to 7. And I started out trading part-time as a hobby on the side. And then as it grew to be more serious, I put more time into it. And slowly the account went from red to green. Then I figured it's time to slowly aim for that goal to switch to full-time trading.
And so
I've
now,
been trading full-time for a while now.
Very exciting. And you also run your YouTube channel. So anybody that wants to learn more about you should definitely check that out. And your YouTube channel is called The Humble Trader. So I know that's your thing, but you've also posted a couple of your trading statements in your course and online, and you do very well for yourself. It looked like almost $50,000 a month. Is that pretty consistent? And is that a good month for you, or what do things look like in your trading these days?
These days, I would say it was really well in the beginning of the year. And I took a red month in August, and I had a break-even month in September. So I still take losses. But overall, I would say on average, if we're talking about right now, it's December. If we're talking about the entire year, average about 50,000 and sometimes more a month.
Wow, really, really quite amazing. So that's what I sort of want to dive into, is for somebody that's interested in getting started and trying to put up numbers like that and dive into the world of day trading. What is something, or what are the things that you think people should know before they get started? And what's the tough conversation that we need to have with people before they dive into the world of day trading?
I think they need to understand that, which is the kind of, it's difficult because people would want to get into trading because they see all those flashy like green numbers you see online, like people like making $10,000, $100,000 a day. But the reality is, when you start out day trading, you're gonna lose first. And that's exactly what I went through. The first year I was all red. I lost $10,000 my first year. So I think you need to know that when you go into day trading, you need to have the expectation that you're gonna lose, probably most likely, for at least 6 months to a year before turning things around. So you shouldn't go into day trading thinking, oh, I'm gonna be like Shay and start making $50,000 a month right away. That's not realistic. And I just want to make sure everyone understand that you shouldn't try to aim to make big money right away. You need to kind of pay market tuition and expect to lose money. If you are not okay losing money first, then day trading may not be for you.
For sure. And the one thing that I always think about is your odds of losing money are the greatest in the beginning when you're just getting started. So use a practice account or use small money. But my next question is, for somebody that's like, okay, I want to dive into this and want to get started, what should be some realistic targets that they should be looking for over the next kind of 3, 6, 9 months? What are some milestones that says, yeah, I should keep going down this path, or maybe day trading isn't right for me?
I think the first year, if you can, yes, lose money and make it small, right? I think we always think about like you said, the target of what you should aim for, as in like the P&L. But I think I kind of want to look at a different way where you have set a target of a maximum loss that you should do each day. And eventually you want to slowly go red to green. So let's say if I'm only okay losing $50 a day, and you're going to keep on losing. But once you start seeing that, okay, let's say 6 months down the road, you found the strategy, you found the risk management system that really allow you to scale up. And once you go from red to green at that point, then it's time to start using more size. So exactly what you said, when you're first learning to day trade 6 months down the road, you want to lose small, right? Like I always say, $50 a day. But once you figured it out, once you red to green, then you start increasing your risk to be $100 a day or $200 a day. So we're still not talking about the actual profit goals, but you should increase your risk. And if you can increase your risk in a sustainable way, then you may start looking at $50 gain a day, $100 a day, $200, $500. So I don't think you should have profit goals. I think I'm answering the question without saying we don't want to put like a profit goal. We want to use risk. Because I think that's a better way to look at it in terms of day trading. But if we really want to talk about like a profit in mind, I would say after 1 year, if you can go green and start scaling up, aim for $100 a day. If you can make $500 a week, that's $2,000 a month. Then that's really, really good supplemental income. And then you can start building up from there.
For sure. And would you say that when somebody's starting out that they should be tracking that progress in a trading journal, or how should they be measuring their performance in the early days?
Definitely be tracking your trading in your trading journal. And I would say even when you are just paper trading, you still want to track that. So when you are paper trading, obviously the money's fake, but you want to start practicing your strategies as if it's real money. Because if you can't make money paper trading, there's no way you're going to make money with a live trading account.
When you were kind of going through that process, that first sort of 1 to 2 years, was there any like major turning points or light bulb moments or pieces of advice that really kind of helped you get over that sort of red to green curve? What was the biggest factor in that ability to get over that kind of red to green?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a series of small things, but I can tell you a couple of key things. First of all, you have to stop following other people and relying on other people to tell you like what to trade and what to short, what to buy. That's the most important part. And then once you stop following other people, then you can start looking at what people are saying. Don't follow them, but look at what their thought process is. So instead of following me, let's say this person, Bob, buys at $1 and he says he's going to sell at $2. Think about and ask him, why are you thinking to buy at $1 and sell at $2? Like, what do you see here? What is the setup? What's the thought process behind it? Because that's what's going to separate you from just following him. Because you may make money this time around, but next time around, what if he loses? You're just going to lose. You're never going to be able to trade by yourself that way. So that's the first thing. Stop following others. Instead, dive into what's the thought process and what made them decide to get into the trades. And the second part is after you learn like the thought process behind trade planning, start planning for your own trades. And then so that we're talking about planning your entries, exits, and actually like where your stop loss is before you actually click the buy button. Because a lot of people only think about those things after they get into the position. They start thinking, oh my God, how do I get out? Where should I sell? Well, those are the things you should have like in your mind before you enter the actual trades. So that's the second part. The third part is actually building a risk management system. So you know what your losses should be, right? Even if you lose, that's fine, but you have to control it, right? Loss per trade, your loss, max loss per day. And what do you do when you're in a series of red days? I think all those things are what new traders should start thinking about right away, even if they are just paper trading, because that's going to be the foundation as you scale up.
For sure. No, I think that was amazing advice. Thank you for that. Changing gears a little bit, I want to
Sure.
dive into as much as you will share with us about your personal strategy. Can you tell us about how you manage your money? It sounds like you have a day trading account as well as some long-term investments. How do you find the balance between those two?
So that's a good question because a lot of people do confuse day trading with investing. And you definitely want to keep those things separate. So your day trading account, I have my day trading account with actual day trading brokers. And then there's also investment, more of an investment account brokers, right? Like with interactive brokers. Well, you can day trade with them, but interactive brokers, Questrade, those are all good investment brokers. So just by keeping your account separate, that's the first step. Because we're also talking about taxes and stuff. They're taxed very differently, and you don't want CRA or the IRS to kind of see that you're mingling the two together. That's a big no-no. So separate them. And for day trading, I only, obviously when I day trade, I only use my day trading account. So day to day, when I trade, it's with the capital I have in my day trading account. And for my investment accounts, I probably check once a month at most, or once every quarter. I try to keep the investments very like hands off. I just kind of buy stuff and leave it. And then I have some accounts that automatically reinvested and contributed every 2 months, every 2 weeks automatically. So I don't have to lift a finger. I don't need to look at it. I don't think about it. That's for the long-term investments.
And do you pull from the day trading account for the long-term investments? And do you do it on a performance basis, or how do you make that decision?
So what I do with my day trading account is, let's say I have a number in mind of what the minimum balance I need for day trading. So let's say that number is $10,000. So let's say if I made $15,000 this month, I'm going to take out $5,000, put that in my bank account. And from my bank account, then a certain amount goes into taxes, saving for taxes, because that's not fun, but you got to save for it. And then a certain amount will be automatically get deposited into my investment brokers. So everything is automated once the money is taken out of the day trading account. And that will be like on a regular month. But if we're talking about, the market is like super hot and there's like a lot of opportunities, let's say in like we had with the Wall Street bet names in January and then in June, then I wouldn't take money out of my trading account. Because I want that capital to keep on trading while the opportunity is hot.
For sure.
So it's so situational, but most of the time I do take out money on a monthly basis.
That makes sense. And it kind of depends on how the market's doing and how you're doing, right? Definitely a personal sort of thing there. You recently launched your Humbled Trader Academy. Can you tell us a little bit about that and who it is going to be best suited for?
Sure. Yeah. So the Humble Trader Academy is a educational program that I spent 1 year putting together. It's going to be best suited for traders who are still struggling with consistency. There's a lot of traders who will make great gains and be green for a couple of days and only takes one loss to wipe everything out. I kind of created this course with in mind of what my own struggles were in my first 1 or 2 years. I'll make $100, $200 there, and I'll lose $500. So I want to build a very solid foundation of risk management system, start from the risk management part and how to journal and track all your trades. So it's kind of reflecting on all the questions you asked me about earlier. How do you track your trades? How do you know which strategies are working? And how do you know how much you should be risking each day and per your account size? And what's your risk tolerance like? And how do you make sure, even if you lose, because let's be real, we all lose sometimes in trading. But how do you make sure when you lose, you don't have one loss wiping out entire weeks or even months gains? So that's the foundation. And I do spend at least half of the program on that, building the foundation to make sure that you have the tools and the foundation to start scaling up And then after you have the foundation, I give you the strategies. So in the strategies, I have 5 different strategies, ranging from small caps, large caps, long and short. But those things are only applicable after you learned risk management, after you learned trade planning, after you learned how to think for yourself and what kind of criteria and all the factors to think about. So the strategies, I would say, they're important. But a lot of people, a lot of traders, they jump straight into strategies without knowing how to manage the trades. So that's why I want to make sure it's like in a chronological order, where if a brand new trader come in to trade and learn from me today, he or she will have the actual foundation to be able to succeed as a trader instead of having the roller coaster P&Ls like I did my first 2 years.
Yeah, I know that feeling of being on that roller coaster. It sounds like a great program. I'm going to put it in the link to this podcast in this video so that anybody that wants to check it out can go find it very easily. Now, I want to dive in a little bit, share with us whatever you feel like, but how would you summarize your favorite trading strategy? What is the best setup that you are looking for? And what do the stars aligning look like for you, and how do you manage it?
I find the best trading strategies are the ones where, sure, you have the technicals and the fundamentals align. So technicals, we're talking about, the daily chart looks like this, the intraday chart, pre-market chart looks a certain way, where it's very bearish or very bullish. And also you want to take into consideration the market sentiment. So those, everything we just talked about are technicals. But then you want to look at the fundamentals. What's the catalyst that's driving the stock up? Is it being talked about on Reddit? Is it being talked about on social media? Is it like an actual pump? Or does it have actual fundamental earnings? And in the catalyst, if it's earnings, what inside the earnings report is so impressive for investors? You look at earnings, you look at EPS, you look at guidance, you look at revenue. So you want I kind of talk about trading strategies as like you're collecting pieces of information like puzzles, and you put together like a piece of information or like a strategy, a setup, and a plan for you to actually take the trade. So most of my strategies, whether it's long or short, involves, sure, the technicals, the charts, and also involves knowing why the stock is gapping up or gapping down. So I kind of prefer to know both. So those will be, I would categorize them as kind of like more momentum trading style, where there's a lot of volume, a lot of gap up, and a lot of inefficiencies when that happens.
Gotcha. And for you to either enter or exit a stock, are you looking for kind of like a checklist where every single item gets marked off? Or are you looking to kind of gather enough pieces to give you confidence to enter and then make a decision based on support and resistance? How do you think about that?
So for all the strategies, the setups that we have in Humble Trader Academy, there's actually a list of, like you just said, a checklist, like criteria. So if everything is met, that's going to be I would say an A+ setup to take the trade if everything's met. However, sometimes in certain market conditions, like especially the one we're in right now, you might miss 1 or 2 pieces, which is still tradable, but then that means you have to downsize. So that's why it's all very dependent. Sure, the criteria you have, but sometimes if it's like a B setup or a C setup, you just take less size and less risk.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have watched one of your videos about your long-term investing. It sounds like you have a tiny little bit of your portfolio in crypto. Can you
Yes.
tell us about your opinion on the crypto markets? It sounds like it's a long-term hold for you. Can you just talk about that for us real quick? I'd love to get your take on crypto in general.
Sure. I'll start off by saying that I'm not like a crypto maximist. I do believe in some of the utilities crypto has, but I would say I only believe in the big dogs, like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum. Those I think there would be some more substantial value in the future. But at the same time, I'm only putting in money I'm comfortable with losing. So let's say if they go to zero, which I hope they don't, then I'll take a loss. I've calculated, I think I'm gonna lose, let's say $1,000, that's fine. But if they do go to the moon in like 10 years, and go to, I don't know, a gazillion dollars, then sure, then that was so worth the risk reward. And I also want to say that when it comes to cryptos, all the things that we're talking about, cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm definitely not as knowledgeable in those areas as I am in stocks. So that's the reason for these things. For crypto investment, I kind of prefer just buy and hold. And I barely ever check whatever my wallet balance is.
No, that makes sense. Thank you for speaking about that. My last question for you here is, what advice do you have for somebody that's just getting started in the markets or wants to get into day trading? What advice do you have for them, and what do you want them to know?
Take it easy and take it slow, and don't quit your job. The best time to learn to day trade, if you're really interested in learning to trade, I think it's an incredible opportunity. I think it's one of the only ways where you can get exponential growth in your income in a short amount of time. And when I say short amount of time, I'm not talking about 6 months. I'm talking about in a span of a few years. So it's very, very worth it. Given that a lot of jobs, at least for my case, my growth on my salary will increase like very slowly, maybe 5% a year. But when it comes to day trading, if you really have the foundation, and if you are willing to put in a year or 2 years of hard work, everything, like the work and the sacrifices you make is very worth it. But that's only if you are starting off at the right foot. You're starting off with, don't start off with the last $1,000 you have in your bank account. Start off day trading, learning to day trade while you have a job, while you have a backup plan, and risk small. Don't go in risking like $1,000, $2,000 a day. Go in risking a $10, $50 a day. Take it slow. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Thank you so much for that advice. I think that was perfect and a great way to finish this podcast episode. I sincerely appreciate your time, and I hope to chat with you soon. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Zach. Thank you everyone for watching.